So Lisa, welcome to the POPScast, and Lora, welcome. And Lora, you said you wanted to come on and talk about kind of a story about how Lisa saved the Pops, which I think is amazing. So can we hear this story?
Is my check in the mail for that?
When I learned that Larry was going to interview Lisa, I had to crash the story because Larry and Lisa are two of my most favorite people, and both of them played major roles in introducing the Los Angeles landscape to me when I moved here in 2009, and they also played big roles in the turnaround and improving the work up to today. So with Lisa, it was 2009, and somebody told me, you need to hire Lisa Vroman because she's part of Vroman's bookstore. Hire her. It could be a great PR media blitz, and that's just real community connections because her family owns Vroman's bookstore, and I thought, oh great, she's saying. So Larry comes in, and we put on the very best music under the stars that the city's ever seen. And lo and behold, this amazing community was introduced to me vis-a-vis Lisa and Larry. And then it gets better because we went to the rehearsal for our new venue. We just hired Marvin Hamlisch. And Larry's the kind of guy that he shows up before you know you meet him. Larry's magical that way. He's kind of like the musical Santa Claus. And I remember we were at rehearsal at the Rose Bowl with Marvin Hamlisch. It was Marvin's very first concert. And Larry just quietly shows up. He's having dinner at one of the tables, and he's there hanging out. And Marvin's in the stage. And long and short of it, they go back, way back. And Marvin said to me the next day, "Oh, we need to hire Larry. I need an assistant. I need somebody to work with me on these concerts." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, how lucky are we that Larry's in the audience?" So it's the whole relationship between Lisa and Larry, and then with Larry and Michael Feinstein, it's just Lisa came on our advisory board. She's been on our holiday candlelight concert. In fact, the picture behind me is with Lisa, me, and my mom. And she's just such a big part of this community.
That's a great story.
Yay. Wow. Beautiful.
But we were very lucky because you gave us both the opportunity to play every chart we've ever wanted to do. So we went into our garages and pulled out everything we owned.
Well, Larry's is like a clown car, full. It's never ending. It's just like one chart. Oh, I have this one. Oh my gosh.
So Lisa and Larry, where did you two meet?
Oh, I was thinking about this before, and I think it was a concert I did in the desert at the McCallum Theater, and you and Kaylin came to it, and Nancy Dussault and the wonderful Patricia Morrison were there. Mm-hmm. And I think that we just all met backstage.
That's correct.
First time. My hair was a lot shorter then.
Yeah. We also had a connection because we had both been part of Phantom, actually different companies. Yeah. But we were Phantom, survivors.
Phantom with a PH. Family with a PH,
and we just all bonded and were having a lot of fun. And really, the truth is the Pops gave us the opportunity. Lora, you gave us the opportunity to play all this music that, we had in my clown car, and it was such a great venue with a great orchestra and Marvin, and it was just really fun. We didn't tell you didn't have to pay us, but that's okay.
Yeah. Part of it is that it's here in Pasadena. It's after Phantom, or actually during Phantom, I bought this home in Pasadena and just kind of kept driving across the country for opera or Broadway contracts with my dog, but always coming home. So to be able to get in the car with your gown and drive to work is a beautiful thing. And there's so many amazing musicians that you get to know over the course of the years, and so it's great to remake, beautiful music with them. There's also a mindset here. It's like Pasadena Pops is a place where you're going to see and hear the great classic treatments of this era of music that a lot of pops symphonies that I work with all over the country and world, they just sometimes they've gone into a really kind of a commercial place. They'll just grab things that they can use maybe cheaply, or but the just consistency here with the history and the value of these charts is really step up, definitely.
But it's also, sorry.
My favorite charts of Larry's was the Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. Remember that one?
Well, it's a wonderful chart. It's the best chart that Nelson Riddle ever wrote. I just stole it from him. But no, but it's a great chart, and I'm lucky to have it. It's a transcription of Nelson Riddle chart, but that's the point. Between Marvin, myself, and Michael Feinstein, it's having access to all of this stuff, and you let us do it and support it. And the other thing is, I'm going to stroke Lisa a little bit here. Lisa's a world-class soprano, and to come in and to sing all of this music and all the pop music with a world-class orchestra makes a huge difference. So that's what Lisa's talking about. The bar is very high.
You know, hiring Lisa, I have to wax on her for a second. She's such a dream to hire because sing anything classical at a 10, and then she can swing and do anything pop at an equal 10. She can do gospel at a 10. So to hire someone like Lisa, you have complete artistic programming freedom. It is the ultimate have your cake and eat it to many days over. And you know, she kind of sets the bar. It's like, yeah, but can she do that? You know, can she do this? Can she do that? Well, you know, yeah, Lisa's not available. Sorry, guys.
I have a great closet of gowns. I know you like that also, Laura.
Oh, so I have been lucky to spend much time at Lisa's home, and I love her closet.
Now, let's say
it's an enviable closet of beautiful, beautiful gowns.
So when we come back, I'm just hoping that if I don't stop making pies, I'm not going to get back into all those gowns with whatever work is available to us as soon as we can. But I'm going to have to step back in a little. Have to slim down a little bit more.
But Lisa, tell us, what are you doing during this time to keep your chops up?
You know, I am singing now. I mean, it's been, 4.5 months now? March. You know, at first, I think, didn't everybody feel like that it was such a bomb had gone off, and we were all dealing with the PTSD trauma of what this was. And I'm not going to lie, it was pretty depressing there for a while. I do think that I am really not changing my routine that much when I am home, with not having, I'm usually traveling, going out and doing all these concerts, and then now that's over, but my routine at home hasn't stayed. Patrick and I, this is our life. Our favorite bar and grill is the backyard. We have a dog that because of where we are in Pasadena, we have endless amount of distancing space to be in and take turns so we can all have our own time away. So that kind of healed us a little bit. Worrying about and taking care of your family. My family, we are Zooming in person more than we ever have, and it's just, it's kind of stepped that up. I talk to my sister every day. I mean, we're taking care of all of that. The caretaking came in really quickly, but then it's artists are the people who have adapted quicker than anybody else. We age, we mature. I mean, I was an ingenue, and now I'm, you know, it's not so new. Ingenue, not so new. That's the word. I've always been considering of using my voice as healthily and sustainably as possible, and aging well with it, and doing what it wants to do, and taking what comes and really jumping into that, allowing myself to continue and move on. So I'm using my voice. I've been doing some of these events. I'm doing a lot of colleges or having me come in and doing a Zoom masterclass talk back with the kids so they can stay inspired to stay in the game or to keep their skills high during this time. I feel like now, after the 4 months, it's a time when we can really do the things that we say we didn't have time for before. Study. I am relearning languages. I'm going into reading all the books that I wanted to read. I'm working on the pedagogy issues, and plus I started teaching in the part-time faculty at AMDA in LA last September, which turns out to have been a great move, because now that the travel's gone, I still have that to focus on, and these kids are between 18 and 21. We're starting the summer session on Monday.
Part of what makes Lisa so special is her technique. She has impeccable technique. To have the kind of, she's very young. She's very young, but she started singing when she was 3 years old. So, but your vocal prowess is in your longevity is really steep in your technique. You and I have had a lot of conversations about how important vocal technique is to be able to have a long singing career. Larry, can you've known Lisa so many years. I mean,
oh no.
Oh no, yes, we're going there. So many years. And we performed in Paris. We performed on Broadway together.
Yes.
In Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Oh my
Taiwan.
God, I remember that. I remember the whole Taiwan.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
In
Lord.
Taiwan, when the roof fell in.
Oh my God.
Where were you guys in Taiwan?
We were.
New Taipei City.
Well, the story was this: we were booked to do a Broadway concert with the Taiwan Symphony. Well, we got there, and it was the Taiwan Youth Symphony, and they were young.
Oh boy, the drummer was 12.
And we were playing "Can't Stop the Music," and I remember Debbie Gravitt turned to me and said, "You have to go faster," and I said, "They can't."
Apparently, you can stop the beat. Apparently.
They stopped totally in the middle of it. They just stopped.
No.
And I turned to Debbie and said, "See what you made me do?"
I mean, it was just unique and hilarious the whole time.
Lisa was handing out the music to the band.
I was the assistant librarian because they didn't have everything, and so I just had to sign language. We don't have everything.
But the audience is just so great there, right? They're just so appreciative and
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them loved it. And
When you and Larry put a show together on, because you both have such stellar music libraries, talk the audience through kind of what it's like for you guys to do selections and put programs together, because you've done it so many times.
well, what was funny is we would do one that I liked, one that Lisa liked, and one that the audience liked.
One for you, one for you.
And we put a whole show together like that and just say, well, yeah, let's do that. And we would just kind of do what we wanted. And what happened, Patrick is also a wonderful arranger, so we would have this combination of arrangements from both of us, plus whatever we had in the library. And the orchestra loved playing it because it was new stuff to them. It wasn't the same old, forgive me, Rodgers and Hammerstein stuff, which is wonderful, but they've played it a million times. Mm-hmm. So, and the audience as well was really taken in by the fact that, wow, we're hearing new stuff, but even if it was the old songs, it was new arrangements, and we were just having fun. And I think the audience bought into that as well, and just knew when we came in it was going to be entertaining. And I used to say that. If you recall, in one of the concerts, I got up in front of the audience and I said, "We decided to play stuff that you might enjoy." And they said, "Wow, what a novel approach." I know I'm making jokes, but it's true. We were just playing some fresh stuff and enjoying it a great deal.
Because if whatever you see on stage, if I'm all worried about a high note, which occasionally we are, because we're all self-deprecating and just really fussy about every little detail of what we do, the audience has to think we are loving every minute, and they will too. They don't know the difference between, sometimes if it's a crowd that isn't musically trained, or they don't care. They just want to hear the joy that comes out that we have. when we perform it. You know, talking about the Under the Stars, that City Hall venue is just glorious, and it's like an amphitheater because of the structure. Sound is so incredible.
Sound is wonderful.
You know, I remember the next day going into my, after one of those, going to my drugstore, and my pharmacist and her family were there, and she just went, we were there! I mean, they were blown away, and it's a free concert. It's such a gift to the to Pasadena. And so, Laura, I hope you said, I just wanted to go back to that. My family does not own Vroman's bookstore. You know that, okay? My dad was an undertaker.
No, but it was so funny because I was just so new to Pasadena.
Yeah.
Someone told me to hire you because you're a good singer, but because of the Vromans connection, and it was just very good.
Well, Pasadena can spell my name, and that's all I ask. That's one of the only cities in the world.
But besides Phantom, I mean, there aren't too many roles for the coloratura soprano, right? In the Broadway repertoire.
But you know, if I've done that bucket list, it's I would call myself a lyric. Mm-hmm. Also, I've done all the classic, you know, My Fair Ladies and The Sound of Music and King and I and all of those kind of bucket lists. I've done The Music Man. You know, those are classic soprano, you know, leading lady roles.
The Barbara Cook parts, yeah.
Barbara Cook parts. Our idol Barbara Cook. Loved her, but you know, she also grew with her voice. It did whatever she wanted. She really, and as you mature too, you want to do things that have value of how you're feeling at the moment. And so to, you know, evolve that is a really great thing. I know, Larry, you brought a chart out once that I thought I would never have thought to sing, the John Kander chart coloring book. Coloring book,
yeah.
And it was almost every time I started, because it wasn't about high notes, and it wasn't about big, you know, that loud singing. It was just emotional singing. That's the stuff that in my career you don't get hired to do that often. So it was so incredible to be able to feel like a mature human being and do something that was so emotionally connected and give a go at that. That's the kind of thing that is just such a pleasure in a concert of we get to do all different kinds of things.
Yeah, do an acting song like that, so you don't have to, you know, pop off the notes. And what was so great is Music Under the Stars allows us, and Laura, because of Music Under the Stars, I think it built up and prepared the audience at the Arboretum as well for more flexibility, and they're open to all of it now.
Yeah.
I felt it change.
I miss performing so much. It's, you know, being on the, you're having your memories come up on your Facebook feed of all these different concerts over the last 4 years is just, on one hand, it makes me very happy, but on the other hand, it's like a little bit of a punch in the heart every time it comes up.
Yeah, but you're not alone. Everyone's is missing that, but you know, it's taking that energy into really making sure you take care of whatever is going to be next.
But also, Laura, it's due to you, because stroke. You deserve it, because you really led the way for us and let us do it and encouraged us to do it. And I remember sitting in your office and you brought out boxes of music and said, go through this and, you know, see what we have here. I leave it to you. I trust you to do whatever you want to do. And every year you never said anything to me except put it together. I trust you. And you
know, you can't micromanage. There's an old saying that you can't change your conductor, you just have to hire a new conductor. It's true.
Wise words.
You know, the great Marvin Hamlisch, we were with Idina Menzel at the Greek Theater, and there was a problem with the music. Surprise. There was a problem with the music. And, you know, it's interesting because in our business, the amount of hysteria that can ensue over
anything.
What anything, right? We are an orchestra, but the amount of hysteria that can ensue over what, like, an average person off the street that doesn't necessarily know the intricacies of what goes into making their concert, it seems absurd. And there were a few issues with the music, and something was wrong with the parts, and literally there was a manager or an assistant to a manager in Tallahassee or something, faxing page by page, and
No.
it was crazy. And it was DEFCON 5 over like a couple of charts. And of course, rehearsal was in 15 minutes. It was a whole thing. And Marvin Hamlisch is just sitting there on the couch with me, waiting for things to get fixed. And there's basically a storm around us. He just looks at me and he says, "There's no business like show business, like no business at all." And it is just so true, because the things that we look out over, in hindsight, when you think about being in quarantine and the lack of performance problems that we have right now, I wish we had performance problems to freak out over right now.
Oh, they'll be back.
They'll be back.
I have to.
to get a librarian to get musical effects because the parts didn't come correctly in rehearsal, overtime, and
I have to comment on that with Marvin, because something Marvin once said to me, and I tell it all the time. We were backstage on a show, and he turned to me and said, "There are these two brain surgeons, and they're talking to one another, and the patient gone." And the brain surgeon says to the other brain surgeon, "Come on, this isn't serious like show business."
Did I tell you my first time meeting Marvin?
Yeah.
This is a good story. I was going to do a concert with him with the National Symphony, and all Cole Porter, the songbook, and he didn't like to rehearse. I mean, less than Larry.
Impossible.
At his apartment in Park Avenue, and I, find my way there and come up, and he said, "Just hang out for a minute. I gotta go in the back, and I'll be there in a while." And there was his mantle with, the Oscars, the Emmys, the Tony Awards, and I just thought, it's now or never. So I went over and lifted each one just to see how heavy they were, and I know that I'm still probably on a security camera somewhere. And then the rest of the time I spent on the floor with his dogs.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we just went through things once. He goes, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." See you at rehearsal. I mean, but he was a doll. We sort of bonded over the dogs.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Nice to meet you, and
You too.
stay safe and creative.
Your nice short haircuts. Everybody has like.
I want to
No,
go.
this is just stuff I put in it. It's actually out to here.
In the morning, I'm like this.
Larry's hiding his fro.
That's right. It's all behind me.
I've got junk in this too. Trust me. I forgot it was so wavy because it's like in the morning. I know Patrick's going. Groundhog Day. Who's that?
Well, thank you, Lisa.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much.
We'll talk.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
No more talk of darkness. Forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
Say you'll love me every waking moment. Turn my head with talk of summertime. Say you'll need me with you now and always. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of
Let me be your shelter. Let me be your light. You're safe. No one will find you. Your fears are far behind you.
All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me, to hold me and to hide me.
Then say you'll share with me one love. one lifetime. Say the word and I will follow you. Say you need me with you here, beside you. Anywhere you go, let me go too. Christine, that's all I ask of you.
Say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Say the word and I will follow you. Share each day with me, each night, each morning.
You know I do. Love me, that's all I ask of you. That's all